All right, simply begin by breathing deeply, allowing yourself, if you will, to simply focus on your feet for a moment. Now, you might think, well, that's a funny place to focus on when you're talking about higher energy, but it's actually not, because by focusing your feet in the moment, you're acknowledging you have an earth body. Every body that is sitting here, including this body, is made of earth. And so we're focusing on our feet for a moment to allow ourselves to understand that we are in an earthly existence. And as you focus on your feet, even though we are not connected through our feet to the earth, we are connected to the earth by the gravitational pull. So as we begin and you focus on your feet, you're thinking of gravity. Now, gravity is a magnetic. It's a magnetic energy. And it's not a magnetic that is in a magnet. It's a magnetic that is in an iron core that is energized through constant motion inside the earth. So what we want to focus on is we are grounded as an earth being into a planet, which is an earthly planet. And the gravity is coming from the center of our earth. And as you think of that, instead of thinking about the crust of the earth and the houses and the cars and all the issues going on, begin to perceive inside the earth this magnificent ocean of pure orange magnetic energy. It looks like lava when it comes out of the volcanoes. But you're tuning in to the liquid center of the earth, which is like the ocean on the outside, has many, many currents of energy. And so what you're doing is letting yourself drop into the magnetics of the earth for a moment. And literally allowing yourself to feel that she is drawing out of you a lot of the extraneous thoughts and words and ideas that we deal with on the surface of the earth. We're dropping deep into the planet. So as you do this for a moment, you forget you're separate from the earth. And you begin to realize that you are the earth, that this body is the earth. And so you allow yourself to have union with the earth element. Now, as we all know, the earth element has 4 primary elements: earth, air, fire, and water. So for your earth element, you really focus on the flesh of your body. Everything fleshy, the brain, the organs, the flesh. For your fire element, you focus on your nerves. For your water element, you focus on your lymph and also on your blood. And for the air element, you focus on the apparatus of the respiratory and also your mind. So we just see those 4 elements, which are earth elements, all contained within the physical form. As you allow yourself to say to yourself, I open my physical body. I recalibrate this body to the Mother Earth matrix. Breathing deeply, long and deep breaths. And you just feel the magnetics pulling you into her. Feel the power of the earth. Feel the creative power inside her. And feel your allowance to just dissolve a little bit of the idea of you, to simply know this planetary power. As you do this, you allow yourself to perceive the earth, the surface of the earth that we live on, and not so much the cars and the houses and the electrical wires and the 5G and the TVs, but the beauty of all the earth, all her manifestations. Animals, plants, flowers, trees, rivers, lakes, and oceans. And for a moment you are the earth and you perceive every ocean in the world simultaneously. Not just that one you see when you drive by, but every ocean. 75% of the earth is this water. And you allow yourself to perceive in your mind's eye how that ocean is always moving. It's always moving. It never stops. You might think it's a still day, but underneath those currents of energy are always moving. And this is all we're doing. We're tuning into the currents of the liquid center of the earth. And now we're tuning into the currents of the ocean. And just like the ocean can show you, it can get really high and it can get really low. But you're dropping into the depth. And this is what we do with the water element. You allow yourself to go beyond the surface and perceive very, very deeply how deep the ocean is. And there are like thousands of humpback whales swimming in it, and millions of dolphins, and schools of fish, and octopus, and flowers. And there are places in the bottom of the ocean that have never seen light. But you allow yourself to drop into the totality of that beauty, of that liquid water element. As you say to yourself, I open my emotional body. I drop deeply into the emotional nature that I carry. And I allow myself to calibrate to the depth of creation. As you breathe deeply now, you allow yourself to feel in your heart, in your emotions. You allow yourself to feel this heart, which there is nobody on the planet who has not been feeling pressure in their heart. Because the heart of the species is changing. The heart, the nature of love is changing. And even as we see in the story of COVID, the primary problem is with heart. So you breathe into your own heart. And wherever you feel any contraction in your own heart, you breathe into your own heart, into this great, deep feeling of how really connected you are to very much power through the earth, through the oceans, and through your own capacity to feel. And as you do this, you allow yourself to say, I open my emotional body and I expand it far and wide to be able to be at one with the change that is happening on our earth. And as you do this now, you allow yourself to think about your mind and all the thoughts you have in your mind and all the this I've got to do and this is my calendar and this is that. And you often look at your calendar, and even still, even on a computer, it's lots of little boxes. Boxes for a day, boxes for a week, boxes for a year, boxes for a century. And for a moment you realize how much the lower mind is in boxes, in details, in defined energy. And you allow yourself to begin to perceive what you see every day, the big infinite open sky, the big unlimited night sky. And you begin from the earth's place, the earth just literally being in space. It is really this large vessel that is held in orbit by magnetic fields. And you really begin to see for a moment the totality of the space that the earth is within, and you just breathe it into you, because this is what everybody's needing. They need more space inside them, more expansion inside them. And you let yourself feel that your mind is no longer contained to the boxes and the orders and the commitments, but it's just moving outward in all directions. And you're not afraid of losing yourself. You actually desire to have the release from the physical constraints that you live within, just for a brief moment, to feel yourself suspended like the earth is in this amazing universal energy, filled with patterns of light, filled with patterns of energy, filled with creative energy, filled with potential energy, mostly filled with peace. And you just breathe that into this vessel now. Breathe it deeply into the body, giving this body a rest from the constraint of living a life limited to a planetary life, as you breathe in your own universal self. As you say to yourself, I open my mental body. I rise above the constraints and limitations of the lower dimensionality that I operate within as a physical being. I allow myself to feel the great joy at freedom, the great joy at being able to be present on an earth, in space. And now, if you will, you begin to breathe into your body from the top of your head, all the way down through the center of your body, straight down the spine, all the way down to your perineum, the point between the vaginal opening and the anus, or the testes and the anus, and you begin to perceive inside this physical body, you have your spinal cord and you have spinal fluid. Outside of that is the vertebrae, but you're going inward, 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 through the vertebrae, through the spinal sac, through the spinal fluid, to the nerve that is your spinal energy, the electrical energy. But you're going deeper than the electrical energy that is the nervous system and the spinal cord. You're going to your own central channel, which is your direct link to your soul. So from the top of your head all the way down to the perineum, you begin to feel this line of spiritual energy that your soul sent down to earth to allow you to walk on earth. And you just begin to perceive this very subtle energy. But then at the same time, you realize how absolutely potent this energy is. You begin to see that this energy runs through the spine, but that literally you are in a ball of light. You are a ball of light, just like your fetus was inside of a ball of liquid. You are a ball of light. And you begin to breathe now and feel that you are breathing, but that the ball of light is also breathing you. That you are that etheric energy field. Your body is made of that energy. And you let the body for a moment just rest in the energy field that it is created from. You realize you are an electrical energy organism. As you say to yourself, I open my etheric body. I align myself to the higher calibration of my soul. I circulate this etheric energy through the organs and the glands of my body as I lift my own frequency to a more unified field of consciousness.